Welcome everybody.
How's everybody doing?
To Boomzies issue number 35.
Yeah. And if you've never been to a Boomzies before,
Yes.
you want to kind of give them a heads up on what we
I
are.
think, you know what, we'll give them a little kind heads up. Boomzies is Mass Geek Debate, as it says there, in the very bottom. We debate everything in the geek spectrum, from video games, music, television, movies, and everything in between the grimy, greasy toes of geekdom. I'm Brian Castleberry.
And I'm Landon Barton, the guy that has to deal with this guy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Anyways, we're going to start off this episode with talking about what we've been up to this week. And then we're going to go into our first topic of Michael Bay producing a new live-action Teenage Mutant Turtles movie and kind of what he's doing with that and kind of why there's some controversy over that. And for our main topic...
Yes, in our main topic, we're going to be talking about, well, whatever you guys want to. As you know, it's people are like, the chat's live. The chat's live. Me thinks Brian has a foot fetish. You'd be right. But we're going to be talking about whatever you guys want to talk about via chat, via phone, or Skype. This is your episode to talk about anything on your minds, except for Mass Effect 3. Because for those of you who joined us after this episode of Boomzies, we're going to have a special little editor's note, as we've called it, talking about the Mass Effect hubbub and the ending. But that'll be after
Stick
this.
around for that.
Just stick
It'll be fun.
around for
We'll
that.
have a special guest for that as well.
Yes, we will
So
have a special
it'll be
guest.
fun. So stick around for that. If you're watching us not live on YouTube, this will be up on our website. So
which is
go to
down
our
there,
website.
substancetv.net, and you can check out that exclusive content there. So anyway, let's go right into our week and what you've been up to, Mr. Landon.
The first thing, let's talk about. I went to see 21 Jump Street, the new 21 Jump Street. And now I'll tell you, I went in with low expectations on this film.
I don't think you can get them any lower. I don't think there's a possibility.
But see, no, there is a possibility because, no, you don't like Jonah Hill in the first place.
Why do people think he's funny?
I like Superbad. I really enjoyed Superbad.
He's not funny.
I enjoyed Superbad. So, but anyways, this isn't about yours. So, but anyways, I enjoyed Superbad. 21 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street, I went in with kind of low expectations. I saw that Rotten Tomatoes actually had a really great score on it. So I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. Anyways, my girlfriend Madison, she wanted to go watch it. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll go watch it. And I will tell you what, man, I was in tears. It was so funny. Like, it was such a funny film. It's very crude. It's rude humor in the same sense of Superbad. But it is so funny. And it's not, like, cheesy in the way of 21 Jump Street, etc., etc. But it's, like... It's so funny. It really is. But like I said, it's very crude. So if you can't handle like dick jokes and just really crude humor, don't watch it because there's a lot of like I said, very crude.
So
humor.
this isn't Citizen Kane.
No.
Okay.
No. But I would honestly like for skeptics, like give it a shot. You're gonna laugh. There's really funny moments in it. Like there really are. I mean, and what's really cool about it is that they do a lot of this, backstory stuff that would take other films like a long time to do. They do it. Really quick, concisely, and it works for it, and it gets you right into the heart of what the film is, and it's so funny. Like, it really is. So...
The problem is, that trailer did not make me want to see that movie more. That trailer, the way I saw it, it only looked more stupid. It didn't look like, wow, this is going to be an actual funny movie. It just goes, oh, okay, they had some few cheap shots. I think the trailer did a really bad job. I mean, what you're telling me, it's funny. But anything I watched in the trailer was not. I didn't find it funny.
That movie, and there's amazing cameos. There's so many cameos. It's not like when you watch like Zombieland and there's like one amazing cameo. There is that really awesome cameo, but there is so many more than just one. Like it's really good. It's worth a shot. I know you're skeptic, and I know you already just don't like Jonah Hill. Channing Tatum does a pretty good job of being funny too, which surprised me. I was a little concerned with Channing Tatum being the other person casting it.
Right.
But really, they have great chemistry. Like it really works together, and it's really cool. The other really nice thing about it is that it's, I think for me, one of the first films that addresses the difference between high school now and what's kind of popular and cool, and then what how high school is normally portrayed. Normally, high school in movies is portrayed as jocks are cool, nerds suck, and that's it. And a lot of movies don't really address how high school is now, where people that nerds are pretty popular now. It's cool to read comic books. It's cool to play video games. It's cool to do these other things. And jocks are now looked at as just completely stupid boneheads. And so the way that it jumps in here is you've got your two main characters, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum was that jock in high school. Jonah Hill was that nerd. Then they go back into high school. The roles have been reversed. Channing Tatum's now not cool, and he has trouble dealing with that. And Jonah Hill is really cool now.
Jonah Hill is cool
because he's nerdy and he's and so he
Jonah
fits into that.
I've never put those words together. I was never at home and I'm like, you know what, Jonah Hill is cool. That's one cool dude.
You just hate Jonah Hill in the first place, and that's fine.
One cool. Besides the hate, I've never seen Jonah Hill and seen a picture. I'm like, that dude is cool. I want to model my life.
I'm getting flack here where J.K. Spencer. Yeah, but I realize that jocks were always looked as dumb, but they're always looked at as the cool people, though. You know, when they show it like in Revenge of the Nerds aren't represented as cool people. The jocks are represented as cool people. They're still stupid, but they're represented as the cool people. In this film, jocks aren't represented as the cool people. They're just represented as dumb and just like leave them alone. They're not the popular kids. They're not the people running the school. They're not walking around beating people up. They're not doing the quintessential high school movie showing.
You're looking into this film very deep.
You want me to analyze a film?
21 Jump Street is not one of those films that I'm like, I gotta analyze this. I gotta get a pen and paper and do some analyzing of this thing, because this is a deep film. You know, this is one of those, it's like Schindler's List, 21 Jump Street. I gotta analyze this. It's deep.
Well, you just have to look at things. I mean, whatever. All right, that's fine. You don't like it. I'm saying it's surprisingly really funny. Give it a shot.
Hey, Simply T, what's going on, bud? Well, I will watch it when it is on NBC in another 10 years. I'll check it out.
Oh, J.K. Spencer. Okay, jocks are still seen as jerks. Geeks are always seen as weird. I challenge you to find a film that doesn't have that cliche. I mean, that's the point that I'm trying to make here. Is this film changes that? They show high school as not that.
So when historians look back on film history, they're like, yes, 21 Jump Street was the film that changed the paragon of nerds not being cool and the jocks being cool.
I'm just trying to say that it's a fun film. Give it a shot.
Okay. Well, I think if you like fun films and you love Jonah Hill, then this is right up your alley. No, I'm not being sarcastic. If you like fun films and you like Jonah Hill, then watch it.
And you like crude humor. It's very crude.
And you like crude humor. Okay.
It's done by the guy that directed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too, which is kind of weird.
Oh, that's a good film.
Yeah,
that is a good film. Okay, a positive thing about the film.
I've said positive things about the film.
The first positive thing for me about the film.
Okay, all right.
So for me this week, it's been Mass Effect 3. And Mass Effect 3. And Mass Effect 3. And then followed by a little third Mass Effect. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Well, because I've been playing this game like crazy. And I was trying my best not to get online. And one of our guests is going to be here tonight. He's actually in the room, but he's being very quiet. He's right over here, but he's not saying anything. But he would get online. He's like, dude, you got to finish the one player. You got to. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I remember one time in specific, he's like, dude, you got to play. We got to play the one player. Like, okay, I will. And he's like, you want to do some multiplayer? No, I can't. I got to play the one player. He's like, we'll play this multiplayer. So then I played multiplayer. So I was so torn because I wanted to play the one player, but then I had to play the multiplayer.
Right.
Which is a good problem to have. That's a good problem.
We've said that each time that it's like
it's a good problem.
It's one of the better problems you could have.
Mass Effect 3. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hating on Mass Effect.
But it's good.
I did finally beat it.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
All in all, I liked the game. I really did. But we'll talk about that more in detail. So, where's Mass Effect 1 and 2? I played both of those as well. So. Yes. That's really been my week. That's the first and second topic for me. Yeah. I won't deny it.
Quick and simple.
Quick and simple, exactly.
I'll run through mine really quick since we spent so much time on fucking 21 Jump Street. The next one is Pictionary. Last week I talked about draw something, and so basically just switching up from being on the phone and doing it in real life. Our guest over here in the corner, he and I went had a game night, a board game night with some friends, and Pictionary was one of the games, and we had a blast.
Hardcore Pictionary.
Pictionary's fun.
It is a fun game. Did you watch 21 Jump Street then go play Pictionary?
No, I watched.
That's too much fun. That's too much fun in one night.
You just keep bringing it.
That's too much insanity.
Anyways, Pictionary, it's a game everybody knows. But anyways, that's just what I've done this week. So it's just plain and simple. Had a fun board game.
How'd you do?
Lost the first game and won the second game.
Did it degrade into just a bunch of people drawing phallic symbols?
There were penises.
There
drawn.
were penises. See, that's every Pictionary game with people our age just degrading. And it's like, how can I draw an island, but somehow secretly put a penis in there, like Disney does into their films?
Yeah,
you like
sure.
doing that because people then will guess a penis. You're like, you're the pervert.
Well, unfortunately,
you're the pervert.
That's
not
the way
me.
Draw Something kind of gets back into that too.
Really?
Yeah. Penises are drawn. It's the same thing with what was the game?
Oh, how we've advanced as human beings.
Duke Nukem. When we got Duke Nukem, didn't we draw a penis on the whiteboard when we first played Duke Nukem?
We did, and I was proud of that too.
Yeah.
I was very, very proud of that because, you know, when it all comes down to it, we've advanced as a civilization, but we all get a pen and paper
and draw dicks,
and we're bored. There's going to be peepees on there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And go watch Superbad after that.
J.K. Spencer, I was trying to draw a dictionary. See what I did there?
Pretty good.
By the way, for our friends in the overshirts, I have to say something they asked me to say. I don't know why, but I'm going to say it. El poo-poo. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
They just asked me, Brian, say El poo-poo.
All right.
So I said I'll say
and you've said it.
El poo-poo.
You said it. I don't understand
3
it.
times, okay?
Right.
I hope you're all happy there with that.
I'm sure they're thrilled.
Their night is made. They're like, guys, let's shut everything down. Out. Log out. I'm done. So let's get on to our first topic of the night. But before we do that, I did want to say our music of the night is from Armored Core 5, if you're listening in the background. Armored Core 5. So anyway, first topic of the night. Lana, remind our viewers.
Sure. If people, this has kind of been all this week blown up. So if you don't know about it, what it is there is going to be a new live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film.
Yep.
Michael Bay's name is attached to it. Some people have gotten it confused multiple times that he is directing. He's not directing. He is simply producing.
Right.
So what that means, most of the time when he produces films, he kind of stays out of it. But being a producer, you're throwing a bunch of money towards it. You do sometimes have say. I mean, you put all this money towards it, they're going to listen to what you have to say. Michael Bay comes out, he's talking to a crowd of people, and he makes this comment that says, you know, describing who the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are. They says, you know, they're young guys, they have attitude, and they're these aliens. And right then, red flag, you hear aliens. And you're like, that's not what the Turtles are. They're mutants.
No, they're
they're not aliens. So that happened. Then 2 days later, there's fan outcry. Everybody gets upset.
Right.
They're like, okay, that's not right. Piss and moan, rightfully so. And then Michael Bay comes back and he says, look, he doesn't confirm or deny that they're aliens. All he says is we're going to build a rich backstory for these characters. That's his statement to it. Doesn't confirm that they're going to be aliens, but he doesn't deny them whatsoever. He literally just says, you know, the problem with it is, with kind of the same thing with Transformers, is Michael Bay's idea of what is cool is not necessarily what is cool to the true fans. So any chance for him to kind of turn and put military into it, because that's cool to him. You know, sci-fi stuff isn't necessarily cool, but military is cool to him, and then, you know, explosions and stuff like that. So he puts those stuff in, which isn't necessarily what we want for it.
Right, and I think that's the point of it all. The way I wasn't so much bothered by what he was saying. I mean, I was bothered by aliens, but the way he was talking about it was like an out-of-touch bigwig in some kind of building. He was just like, and aliens and all this stuff. It was like, you know, when your parents would try to talk to you about something, they're like, I just got the turtles, and they're aliens, and they're hip and cool. And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Grams, you really lamed it up there. And that's what Michael Bay did.
Yeah.
He made it lame.
Yeah. And it's kind of a weird position, because it's like there's not a lot of information for it. It's literally that's the information, is just a quick statement and then a rebuttal statement from him, and so you don't necessarily know if it's that's the way it's going to be. If that's
I like this. Raphael and Michelangelo will be replaced by massive explosions.
Yeah.
Just massive explosions walking around with nunchucks. That's all it's going to be.
I think that was a joke from what was it, that guy with the glasses. I think he made that.
A deep backstory for the Turtles films was already done. It was the first film, which is a darn good film. Still good to this day.
And that's the thing. It's like, there's certain things, my statement about this was, like, if you're going to change things, it's fine. You're going to change things, you're going to go into a movie, and you want to do something different from the ones. Change certain things.
Right.
That's kind of, you know, making them aliens, making them from a different planet. That's one of those things you can't really change. Like, that's kind of like an off-limit change.
Well, it's
thing.
It's a core to the story.
It changes two things. They're not, you know, the mutants, and then they can't be turtles at that point. They would be teenage aliens that resemble human, you know, Earth turtles.
Right.
Is what that would be.
And it's an origin story. That's one of the sacred cows of any franchise. Like what you've seen with the Batman films. they messed a little bit with how characters look,
Yeah.
with possibly how some of the settings are. But
And
the
I expect-
origin
I expect
stories,
changes.
we expect changes, but they're not like, well, you know how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. Well,
He's not bit by a radioactive bat.
He's not bit by a radioactive bat. Yeah, he has a Tootsie Pop, and he can't get to the center of it, and it just pisses him off, so he's Batman. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's not how his parents died.
Yeah.
So that's why when you hear that kind of stuff done, it is Michael Bay. I'm concerned about him, but the thought process behind it is all wrong.
Yeah, it's but one nice thing about it is that it's live action. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that it's live action. It's not going to be all CG.
And I would prefer, as Garrick was saying, animatronics.
Yes.
Animatronics are beautiful. In the first film, they worked.
Yeah.
And you watch it today. It's over 20 years old. And they still look great. I don't look at that and go, well, that looks fake. Because it was actually there and actually moving.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And they're saying live action, so I hope that it's not going to be laden with CGI intermixed.
It's Michael Bay, so...
Well, but he's not
directing it, but his influence is in it.
That's where...
His influence and his money is in it,
Right.
if you're a producer.
But like I say, I've read multiple articles where, for the most part, he kind of, as a producer, he stays away from it. He just kind of wants to put his money in it, into a franchise that he knows he's going to get his money back out of. So hopefully it won't turn that way, but you got to kind of wait and see what happens.
Right, exactly. But, I mean, I think, in the end, and I think what a lot of people are saying here, we have, as fans, the right to complain about this stuff. I mean, that's why I think some people are saying online that, well, we shouldn't be able to say anything about this. They're the ones, they have it in their own hands. They can do with it what they want. For me, I think we as fans are, I guess we could say, the guardians of the series. We've watched it. We've grown up with it. And if any input should be given to the Turtles, I think Michael Bay would be smart to listen to the fans and what they have to say about this whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. So let's wait and see what happens, I guess, at this point. That's about all you can do.
Exactly. Chatia! Welcome! Forgotten Alien Ninja Turtles. They can kiss my butt. Welcome, Bushwick, and welcome, Chatia. You honor us by joining us for this Boomzies, which, by the way, if you just joined us, we're ending our talk on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you want to call us, you can call us on our Boomzies phone line at 316-778-0730 or Skype us in under Skype name at Boomzies. I think we've pretty much covered this topic. Let's move on to our second topic of the night, which is, well,
you guys,
whatever the heck you guys want it to be. Whatever topics you guys want, since we now have chat working. Look at you. Beautiful chat.
Okay, alright, stop. No more.
I'm licking the chat. So, since I've just licked you, what would you like to talk about? We're taking your request right now. No touchy, Brian. Boobs. Well, it's good to see that we've come to the real big discussion of the night. Boobs.
Yeah. We started with boobsies.
Boobsies.
And finishing
boobs,
with boobsies.
phallic symbols.
So,
we've really advanced in this show. 35, we've advanced really well. I think it's great. So,
Day one DLCs.
Day one
That's
DLC.
a conversation.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So what do you think?
It depends.
Mass Effect 3 had Day one DLC.
Yes, it did.
I didn't have a problem with it, and I've got a reason for that. Do you have a problem with it?
Well, you tell me.
My
yours
problem, I don't have a problem with that. Here's my anti-problem with it. A game that comes out with Day one DLC isn't necessarily bad. If it feels like it's hoard out, then sure. But the thing is, you finish a game, and you've got months after it goes gold, and they have to produce it. What are the developers going to be doing? They're going to be working on DLC. If they happen to have it finished, they're going to release it Day one. They're going to release it within that first week. Because if you release it too late, I think in the same instance with Final Fantasy 13 2, and say Batman Arkham City, you release those outfits too far down the road, I'm no longer interested. You need to release it within a time period that people are still interested in playing that game. And for the fact that if you release a game and you've got DLC Day one, if you package it with a collector's edition and put that free, that's fine.
See, that's the one thing people were complaining about in Mass Effect. They said, well, there's this DLC content and it's extra. Well, if you bought the collector's edition and if you reserved it, it comes free. So I don't see that as ripping anybody off. I actually see that as in giving a chance for people who never got to own it or didn't get the collector's edition to actually have that stuff.
Oh, well, we've got an interesting statement from Dirk here. The DLC was on the disc. So PC users could just break into the disc itself and unlock him. So, but is that the same way on? Because Dirk is the guy that's in the
like
here.
we're like pretending
So-
he's not here. Like somebody
So you
online.
can talk here if you want. Is that the same way for PS3 and 360s? Is it on the disc?
The character is, the mission wasn't. But the character was... All you have to do is change one line of code and the character appears in your game.
Well, see,
Okay.
but for me,
But is that the same way on PC? The mission isn't there on PC then? Okay.
but if you bought the collector's edition, you got that. The point for me is if you bought the collector's edition, it's there. So the option is there for you to buy it or not buy it and get it later. I think my main issue with Day 1 DLC is, does the game feel complete? That's really my only judgment. If the game I played that I got without any DLC feels complete and I don't feel cheated, that's fine. On the other hand, like Capcom does with a lot of their stuff, it's just DLC like Street Fighter X Tekken, man. Colors and characters and all this other stuff that I'm going, wait, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had 1 billion fighters and it all was included. You only had to unlock it by playing. That's where I feel like people are being ripped off. Mega Man 9 with the Proto Man deal, where it's like, wait, he should have kind of already been in there. That's where that's a difficult judgment call. I think you have to look at the mentality behind the company. And if you see them constantly doing that, then to me, that's just them trying to get your pennies.
Right, and we got a comment here from J.K. Smith. Personally, they can afford to wait until the week after release. Sure, yeah. I think it still needs to be, like I said before, it needs to be within that window that people are still interested. If you wait too long, then, that's just a issue with releasing DLC.
J.K.
So.
Spencer says, yeah, MVC3 pre-order DLC was BS. Here's a code to download DLC, but you have to wait until everybody else can buy it, which was so weird. I'm like, so I got this for free, but I don't get it early. Capcom has surprisingly been the worst on DLC lately. Capcom was one of my favorite companies for DLC, it used to be. But now, the way they're doing things, not so good anymore.
Yeah.
Not so good anymore. I don't appreciate it. So, I think we've pretty much spoke our
Is there any
thoughts on
other...
that. Yes.
Next
topic of the night.
You can always call in, too.
Yes. Of course, phone number
It'll be here in a second.
778-0730 or Skype Boomzies. And you can call up and tell us your opinion of what you'd like to talk about, because that's what we're all here to do. Yeah, right down there. Well, now it's gone.
Oh, dang. I saw it over here.
You saw it over here.
I'm like 4 seconds behind, so...
You silly people. Mystery. I have no idea who the disembodied voice was. Oh, we got a call coming in. Phone call. Quick. Hello, you called the Boomzies line. Who are we talking to?
Hey, what's up? It's Nash.
Hey, man.
Nash. Good sir.
What's up, guys? Well,
Oh, man.
here's
Just
what I
having a
wanna-
wonderful evening. Hanging out with each other. Bunch of guys in a room. Alone. And a camera.
Oh, God.
I can only think of one way of having more fun than this. Hey, so what you
why?
call about?
Yeah. Well, actually, my question kind of has something to do with that.
Oh, goody.
It
Jesus.
involves. I'm just gonna ask you right now. Why the hell are all the gay guys in video games? I wanna feel cool about that. You know, I'm as gay as a $2 bill, and yet there's barely any gay protagonists, man.
Where's the gay guys?
Where is he? Yeah.
Where there's a gay guy in Massive.
He's talking like protagonist, like main
You
character.
can't play as him, and here's what kind of rubs me the wrong way. The only game that you can play as a gay guy would be like some sort of RPG where you can those kind of games, like your Mass Effects, your what other game?
But see, you're talking. I think what you're talking about is where they make him like a God of War or an action game where he is created in his backstory as gay.
Yeah, he just happens to like men instead. Yeah. Even then.
Well, I think
Even if that, I mean, we're all the black dudes, out of all my hundreds of games or whatever, I can count only 3 where I get to play as a black guy. What the hell?
Well, and I'll say
I'm not black though.
I don't agree with the statement of what I'm going to say, but I think it's a fact of publishers, for the most part, you don't see that because it's not going to sell mass, to the general masses, unfortunately, and that's just kind of, you got to need to break these barriers, and,
right.
and it's sad that we're at a point where we are, and those barriers aren't broken.
Well,
and
because
so it's,
you're right.
You know,
But
so
does that really heavily affect that? I mean,
I think
you just have a character. Oh my God, he's incredibly bad.
no.
badass.
Here's the thing. I
But
think,
when you move on into the story, it just happens. He's just gay, you know.
but I don't
Now
think
there's
it really
something
has anything to
prepare
do with.
play a game with the first
I-
gay protagonist, you know. It's
Well,
not like
here's
I'm
the thing.
so
I don't
doubting,
think.
but, yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with, well, and I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, with people being bigoted or having hate towards gay people. I think it's the fact that Landon is saying the reason why they don't have that, the reason why you don't see as many people of color, different racial backgrounds, and why we don't see different kinds of game selling as well. Why don't we see Tim Schafer's games that are story driven and click based? Those aren't popular. I think the
well, it's
fact
the same
that it
reason
is
that you get like the same general like Marine
the
character,
Marine guy,
the Mass,
right.
you know, we love Mass
So,
Effect, but that character.
That's what I'm saying. I think it goes beyond just one, you know, or you know, I think religion is something that nobody touches really at all. You know, people don't touch on a lot of religion. They don't want to, you know, they want to stay away from it. So again, I think they're trying to stay along with the popular trends to what's going to sell to the biggest.
And you see, you're a comic book guy, and you do see some shifts in that direction with, like, say, Marvel when he wasn't, well, Marvel and DC actually, they introduced a new character called Bunker, part of the Teen Titans, and he is a gay black.
Yeah, the purple guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the purple guy. He is a gay. I think he's Hispanic. He's a gay Hispanic individual.
He's Spanish. He's Mexican.
Yeah, Hispanic.
Yeah.
And then in Marvel, you've got the new Spider-Man, who was half black, half Hispanic, new Spider-Man. So you see some of those barriers being broken in comic books, but unfortunately not right now in video games.
And that's why I think we're going to hopefully see more of these kind of characters, not only in video games, but in comic books and other media, by independent developers who aren't run, like Chatia said. She was saying, you know, pretty much we're all, you know, ran by older male white guys. And for the most part, I probably will agree with that. So you're not going to see these kind of varied interests. And that's why I hope to see the independent developers take a hold of this.
Yeah.
And then that way, that not, and I think the great thing is what you're saying is not only for gay people, not only for people of color, for people of all kinds, you know, whether we're talking about race, sex, you know, how you look, whatever, you'll have a voice. You'll have a distinct voice that you feel represents you. But I think, like Landon said, it's going to take time.
It doesn't take a million years.
Well, and I think if you don't see it being done, either you do it or you put out there, send an email to your game publishers and developers. Ask them. If they don't know, if these are guys sitting in a boardroom going, we're looking at a graph and Call of Duty 84 just sold 1 billion copies, they're not going to go look at any other kind of avenues.
I think it might have to be a slower progress in the same sense of, like, we've got the Durka Durka here in the chat. He makes a comment that there is that gay love interest in Mass Effect 3, and I think, you know, start putting in that and slowly get to that point, because unfortunately, I don't see anybody coming out just doing that immediately, full blown on, you know, homosexual main character. It's probably not going to happen that fast. It needs to be kind of a progression to where it sells. I don't agree with that. I think, you know, there shouldn't be those barriers, but it's when you make a game, you have to make it sell, and it's a demographic. It's the same thing with any kind of advertising, anything that's a consumer product. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Well, because you've got, I mean, and the little I've learned actually, I mean, you've got essentially got a market, a method, and a message, and that's the three. That's how you sell something. Those three things, and that's what they look at the market. They look at psychographics and demographics to sell something, and if those two tell them this is how we need to sell it, that's what they're going to aim at. So, I think your goal and the rest of ours is to change the demographic, to change those psychographics and how they see us, and then they'll aim towards a different target. They'll do it. So, well, hey, thanks for the call, man. You bring up a great point.
All right, thanks. All right, so see you and have a cool day in Boomsy Land or whatever.
In Boomsies Land, we always will, sir. And thank you for your help. We'll be talking to you soon about that.
Thanks, man.
All right.
All right, let's see it. It's a very, very good topic there.
It was a very smart discussion. I like.
That was very, very good. So, anyway, of course, if you have anything you'd like to talk about, it's no holds bar, man. Whatever you want to talk about. If you're just joining us, this is a viewer request night. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, anything you have on your mind. Of course, I'm Brian Casper, Landon Barton over here, by our little tags down here.
And if you'd like to call us as well, our
Yes.
number will be here in the bottom in just a moment.
316-778-0730 or Skype at Boomzies, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about here on the show. I hear a lot of people talking about Raccoon City and Ninja Gaiden 3, which I've heard bad things about both.
I've heard really bad things about Raccoon City.
I heard it just essentially turned into a third-person Gears of War,
There is used copies all over the place.
which is so disappointing because I heard a lot of excitement behind this game.
Yeah.
People were excited that they're going to be able to play as these characters that aren't Jill Valentine. They're not the normal, and it's like, oh wow, we're able to play as people in Umbrella Corporation. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Gears of War. Okay.
What did you hear about Ninja Gaiden? Because I haven't heard anything
Ninja
negative about it
Gaiden,
yet.
I actually watched a video review and got a chance to watch about 30 minutes of gameplay. The funny thing is when they were developing the game, a lot of the talk out of Tecmo was, this is the Bayonetta killer. Their main goal creating this game, they said, we're going to compete with Bayonetta. And so, as much as I didn't believe it, I was like, great, you set a high bar, beat it. If you beat Bayonetta and it's better than that, I'm fine with it. So I watched it, and not only did they take the dismemberment out, which, okay, fine. Not only did they take, a lot of blood and guts out and kind of made it less visceral, but it really feels like room, bunch of guys kill him, dead. And then the classic, really old, archaic backtracking puzzles that don't work. They don't implement or help the gameplay. It just feels like, oh, I gotta take this key back and, do some of that. And
It's a shame because Gaiden 2 was so much fun.
And that's the other thing, too. Ninja Gaiden 3, remember all those cool weapons in Ninja Gaiden 2? Oh, you don't have them anymore. You just have the sword. Remember the cool Wolverine claws that you're able to stab people? No, you don't got them. Cool bow? Nope. Nunchucks? Nope. Flail?
Interesting.
Nothing. Gone.
I'll have to look more into it because
That's what
sad.
the cool part about it was, all the different weapons.
Yeah.
You could fight in whatever
The
way
scythe,
you wanted
I
to.
think, too. And
Yep, the scythe. Exactly. So, I didn't think it was all that good. I wasn't impressed by it, so...
that's a shame. I'm still going to check it out just because it's Ninja Gaiden. I'll have to give it a shot.
Okay, in what games do Jatia asks, in what games do a really tough, hardcore male character cry? Well, of course, Devil May Cry 1, I wanted to put Devil May Cry, oh! He's at the very end, he cries, and the tear falls down, and she's alive.
Now, in Gears of War 2, who's the guy that tried to find his wife?
Marcus.
Marcus.
No,
Marcus.
not
It was
Marcus.
No, Marcus. It was
Dom.
Dom. Was it Dom?
Dom
Did he cry?
was crying all the time. It was like every 5 minutes, where's my wife? I miss my wife. Dude, I've been hearing you since the first game.
That was pretty.
We
pretty
got you.
sad though.
But it was the whole time. It was like, it would be like poignant if it was like, I'm now going to cry about this. It's affecting me this whole time. But it's like every 5 minutes. It's like, hey, how you doing, man? Everything, you going good? Dude,
Jeez.
it's okay. It's
Yeah,
enough with the
I was like, I don't
crying.
remember him crying constantly, but
He's a
whatever
whiner.
you say.
He's a whiner.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, Dom.
So
He's
at
a
least
whiner.
there have been very.
Yeah, Samus is another addition to the pile, sadly, in Metroid Other M.
What about it though?
Samus when she was crying in Metroid
Oh.
Other M.
But we're talking about males though, aren't we?
Oh, well. Okay.
That's why I was like, wait, hold on, did we
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
switch?
Well, secret. Samus is secretly a dude.
Okay.
It's been secret all this
it's
time.
been a lie.
Only release. Yeah, Raiden cried in Metal Gear Solid 4 is borderline. Snake had a little teary tear, I think. Not a cry.
No.
More of a tear.
It was
More
different.
of a Visine,
Yeah.
like, boop, tear.
It's accurate, I guess. Sure.
And then he sucked up his tear. And he ate the salty goodness. It was
Yeah.
so nummy. Other M is like Fight Club. You don't talk about it.
That's funny.
I went back through that game, and it's not too bad. When you get used to the D-pad, and especially the Zelda Wiimote has got an awesome D-pad. It works. Story, okay. But the gameplay is there, and you could tell they came through. I think Metroid Other M is better than Ninja Gaiden 3. I'll say it. Though I haven't played Ninja Gaiden 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say you haven't played it, so
Yeah, but from what I've seen, okay. Yes, we are accepting calls right now in the user-generated content. 316-778-0730. Skype, Boomzies, or throw up your questions here in the chat for us to answer, because that's what we're here for. To answer your questions, your thoughts, because it's viewer request time, man. Let it out. Oh, we're getting a call. Hello, you've called the Boomzies phone. Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's me, Anadoru.
Hey, how you doing?
I wanted to discuss something about, you know, how violence affects us emotionally in video games nowadays. Now it's just point, click, boom, blood splatter everywhere. There's a difference between when the main character of Heavy Rain cut his pinky off and when, I don't know if it was Battlefield 3 or Modern Warfare 3, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Gee, I hate spoilers. There's a kid that dies in one scene.
Yeah.
And it's just not as engaging as the Heavy Rain scene, and he only cut off his pinky, basically.
I think it's a difference in making this violence and this pain more personal rather than massively done. You know, if you're killing people left and right 24/7, then it puts you in a stagnant position where it's not really affecting. But if it makes it very personal, very something you can kind of relate to a little bit more, because I can't relate to going out with an AK and, like, you know, being in war and stuff, but I can relate to sitting there making a decision on, am I going to cut my pinky off? That's going to scare the shit out of me. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's going to make you shaky, you know?
Yeah.
And Mass Effect 3 did that with the characters I knew. There's billions of people dying, but the characters in my party, I cared. The creators made me care about those characters.
And there's some stuff that happens that make you like, oh, like, I can't believe Mass Effect just threw that at me.
Which we'll talk about who you let die later.
There's also one scene in Dead Space 2 where you go into the dark machine and there's this needle that is going for your eye, and I hate needles, so personally this scared the living bejesus out of me. And if you miss, it goes right through your eye into your skull, and he just screams this blood-curdling scream, and he dies. Oh my god.
I think that's one of the... Go ahead.
It was without the mask. The second game, you actually got to know him, and seeing that scene was just... Oh my goodness.
But I think you hit it on the head. The game creators got us to know these characters, and they made us care about them, so that every little thing that happens to them, when they feel it, we feel it. And so if, like you said, if we would have just seen this guy unmasked out of nowhere, he's a nobody to us, and that thing goes into his eye, well, it's visceral. Yeah, it sucks, but why do I care? And I think more games would be helped if they gave us reasons, like you're saying, to care about these characters.
It's just making things just more personal.
Even the bad side, you figured out that the unitologists were being turned into necromorphs by the marker, and you could see the writings on the walls, and they just go slowly. They go insane slowly, and they're writing on the walls in blood, and there's candles everywhere. And you kind of feel bad for the necromorphs after that, because they used to be people, you know? And even the exploding babies.
Oh, I couldn't. I just have to tell you real quick, I just had my son. Literally just had my son a week or two before I played Dead Space, and when those babies came up, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. No, this is creepy. It freaks me out. I can't do it. It's creepy
even if you don't have children.
It is creepy, but then I'm like, these are babies.
Then you probably don't want to play Condemned to Bloodshot because there's exploding baby dolls.
Yeah. Okay.
That have
I will...
satanic eyes and like nails in them and
so,
stuff.
If my wife has another baby, that's probably not the game to bring to the delivery room. Like, honey, you're a little stressed out. Let's play some Condemned 2.
Yeah,
not the good game.
Watch the enemy chuck exploding babies at you, and you can chuck exploding babies back. It's basically, when I saw Cell Gaming play it, I'm like, yes, exploding baby fight.
Yeah, the thing I've been waiting for all my life. I can't wait. Well, anyway, thank you so much for your call and for joining us from Chatia. Because Chatia's good people. I mean, if Chatia knows you, then, well, you're automatically just full of winning good. So,
Well, I actually heard you from Man vs. Game and Chatia, but I heard you from Chatia first.
That's good
well,
stuff,
and that's what
nonetheless.
counts. That's what counts. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
hey, Man vs. Game is cool, but I'll say it. Chatia's in here. She's awesome. She's awesomer at this point. Now that Man's not here.
Oh,
That could all
yes.
change.
Yes, the Dante's Inferno killing unbaptized babies. Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah,
too.
that's another one.
Yeah. And
Well-
and the school kids in Silent Hill 1, they're like these white, fleshy kind of zombie-looking things,
Too
and
many
they
creepy children.
There's
Wait,
all the
there's-
just get rid of the creepy children in games and we're done.
There's one thing I want to tell you. This is
What's
like
that?
really important.
I'm ready.
Silent Hill is actually based off a real town called Centralia.
I heard something about
Yeah.
that. I didn't hear the details, but I heard something about that.
Basically, it was like in the 1950s. There, people were burning trash by this abandoned mine, and the coal caught fire. The fire people put it out, but they didn't put it out from the inside. So the toxic gas was just building and building until it eventually released, and it basically burned the town alive. The
not
air
good.
was like
Heard about this.
was very, you couldn't breathe the air, and the heat was so intense that it was basically like stepping onto the surface of Saturn.
Weird.
It's not good.
Fire.
Not good stuff.
And the fire is still burning today. There's only like
Creepy.
3 people who live in Centralia now because everybody left because of so much of the toxins.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody jumps to Wikipedia.
I've got to search. What is this all about? Well, thank
Yes,
you so
yes.
much for your call. We appreciate it.
And the
The coal
facts.
fire, it's still burning. It's still burning to this day.
Nuts.
There's like cracks in the ground and everything.
Crazy.
Write the name in the chat for everybody,
Yeah.
too, if you could. And
They'll get it,
yeah,
so.
thanks so much for calling. That's
Yeah.
great.
Well, have yourself a good evening.
Silent Hill. All right.
All right.
You
See you
too.
later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you in chat.
Cool. So
You want to take one last topic?
let's take one last topic.
One more topic.
Because after this, we'll remind you again, we're going to be having a special little extra show called Editor's Notes, where we're going to talk about the Mass Effect 3 ending
And all the
and
controversy
all the
behind it.
controversy behind
And again,
it.
if you're watching us on YouTube, not live, this will be up on our website. So if you like what we're doing here and you want to know more about Mass Effect, check out our website,
Yep.
substancetv.net.
Exclusively
Exclusively.
over there, you can check out that content with a bunch of other great stuff as well. JT's like, I gotta leave. I can't see it.
Yeah. So anyways, one last topic. Anybody?
Anybody? Yeah. I got one for you. What defines core gaming versus casual gaming? We kind of had a little bit
Yeah,
of a
we've done a-
discussion,
we've
like
done a topic
hardcore
on
versus
this.
casual. Kind of has the same implications. No, there are no. By the way, there are no Mass Effect 3 spoilers here.
Not
After
here.
we're done with this, I will warn you,
It's spoiler
all
laden.
gloves are off in this next one. That's why we're not doing it here.
Yeah.
That's why we're not talking about Mass Effect. This is going to be in a different one. The cast will stop, and then we'll restart in another 2 minutes and go from there. So,
And there will be plenty of
must keep your
spoilers.
muffs on. Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking in for anything else. Yeah, the casual versus thing. We've kind of touched over that.
We have, yeah.
Which you can reference that in our old episodes by just checking us out at substancetv.net. Go under the Boomzies heading, and we've got all of our old episodes uploaded for you to check out. And especially you can check us out on our iTunes.
Yeah, it's easy.
We have a podcast automatically
Easy.
downloads for you every Monday. It's right up there. Easy. Journey, short but not casual. Angry Birds, long but casual. I haven't played that Journey game.
I haven't played it
I've
either. I
heard
really
good
want
things
to,
about
man.
it.
Because I love those games like that. And it's
I'm just disappointed there's no Steve Perry in it.
yeah. I mean, have you played
Because
like,
every time I see Journey, I'm like, I want Steve Perry.
have you played Flower and Flow?
Yeah, I played those. They're not bad. They're
I
not
like
bad.
them. I really enjoy
I
them.
like them. They're
I really
like-
like
they're-
Flower.
They're chill.
It's very
They're chill,
ethereal.
man.
Ethereal is the word I would use.
And by the way, hello Don and hello G-Dam. I didn't get to say hi before. And Shaggy! Darn you streaming, you get in the way of everything. Well, I think we've
Yeah.
gone over everything.
Had fun.
We have had
So-
some fun.
Stick around. Definitely,
Yes.
if you're interested in Mass Effect 3 and the ending, again, spoiler laden. So stick around. We're gonna quit the cast, come back in about 5 minutes, and keep going. Having
Keep
some fun.
fun. By the way,
So-
we're not just Boomzies. We're also Substance TV, which we've got a lot of big announcements coming up about the site. Can't talk about it all here, but there will be an update video. You can go there, substancetv.net. Check out all of our exclusive content going on.
Like us on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/STV Social. So go check us out there. We update that page all the time. This bickering, which we really didn't bicker too much today.
No,
It was
we did
mainly-
pretty good.
Mainly
We did
21
pretty
Jump
good
Street was
about
about the
ourselves.
only
That was
controversy
really
between
it.
us. So go on there. Lots of posts, lots of fun stuff going on.
And of course, our Twitter, you can also fodder it. Twitter.com/SubstanceTV or @SubstanceTV. You can check us out there as well.
Lots of fun stuff to interact with us.
Yeah. Interact with us, touch us, know us, want us,
Oh Lord.
be with us, have us in every way possible. Is that too far?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, like I said, Landon said, stick around. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes. We're going to be back with the editor's notes,
Editor's notes.
talking about the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. We'll, guys,
stuff.
see you next week for another insightful episode of Boomzies.
Yep.
See you guys.